Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Vince. So glad to be with you again. Look forward to seeing you in person. Today, we're just live by video. Anyway, today we're going to be in Luke 6, verses 32 through 36. Luke 6, verses 32 through 36. And as you turn there, just a quick reminder, this is a continuation of thought. And as we're going through, and it starts back in verse 20. And verse 20 says, and Jesus, and he, well, it is referencing Jesus, and turning his gaze toward his disciples, he began to say. So Jesus is in front of a large crowds of people, and he looks towards his disciples as he starts going through this. So this message is to everyone, yes, but specifically his disciples. Disciplined learners. That's what we're supposed to be, disciplined learners. And the continuation of thought is everything that's been leading up to this. It's a continuation of thought, one building on another, building on another, building on another. And that's what this is doing. That's what it's telling us. So it's starting in verse 32, if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even the sinners love those who love them. And that's the love is the agapeo love. We're supposed to love unconditionally. We don't condone sin, but we love the people. We're supposed to love the people, not the sin. Hate sin. Hate sin, hate sin. We need to hate sin as much as God hates sin. If you don't hate sin as much as God hates sin, then you need to reconsider and learn to hate the sin. Love the people, hate the sin. But going on, it says, if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even the sinners do that. You know, if you're doing favors for just your friends, just those who like you, big whoop. It doesn't matter. And the same thing goes on in verse 34. It says, if you lend to those from whom you expect to receive back, what credit is that to you? For even the sinners even sinners lend to sinners in order to receive back the same amount. Same thing. You know, if your friends, the ones that you like and that like you, if you only lend them money when they need it, who cares? So what? It doesn't matter. Everybody does that. It's calling us to a higher standard, and that's higher standard is what we're going to see in the next verse. So that's something to think about today as you go through. And it doesn't mean you're going to bankroll people. It doesn't mean anything like that as far as the lending part. But yeah, if somebody needs, if somebody says, hey man, you got $20, I can borrow. If you have it, let them borrow it. But as we go on in verse 35, Jesus says, but love your enemies and do good and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great in heaven, and you will be sons of the Most High, for he himself is kind to ungrateful, some translations will say unthankful, and evil. So what we're looking at right here, Jesus specifically is telling his disciples, if you are a disciple of Jesus, a mathetes, a disciplined learner, this message is specifically for you. And it says, and for me, love your enemies, which is your foe, love them, do good. If somebody needs a favor, and even if they're your enemy, do it. I'm supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it. We're all supposed to do it. That's what we're called to do. If somebody needs, $10, $20, $50 if you have it, something like that, and even if they're your foe, do it. If you have it, do it. Expecting nothing in return. That's also not despairing. What that's telling us, don't fret over it. Don't stress over it. It will be okay. Jesus says in the next part of that verse, and your reward will be great. Not maybe, not might. It says will be great. And you will be sons of the Most High. So Jesus is specifically telling his disciples, don't stress out over all this other nonsense. Your reward will be great in heaven, and you will be sons and daughters of the Most High. for he himself is kind to the ungrateful and evil men. God's kind. We know that because he's been patient with everyone, or else he would have wiped us all out long ago. And as we close out in verse 36, it says, be merciful just as your Father is merciful. Our Father in heaven is merciful, and we're supposed to be merciful. The implication in that part of the verse is we're supposed to become merciful. It's not easy when we first start this process, but the Holy Spirit, the more we let the Holy Spirit work through us and in us, and we walk and keep in step with the Holy Spirit, we should be becoming merciful to everyone, even our foe. And that's what we're called to do. So I love you guys. You have a great day, and don't stress out over the little stuff. God is still on the throne, and he's still in control. I love you. I'll see you later.